Driver at Lotus at Jordan, and Williams, now battling back after the awful accident in which he lost both legs, was on the verge of losing his life.
I think when you get so close to lose everything and you really feel it, the day that you wake up, you really feel you just cheated death by this much. Then everything that comes is really, you welcome everything with a different attitude.
And you're back with us at Imola for the San Marino Grand Prix. Last time we were in Italy on race day was at Monza in September. The Williams garage in particular was in a state of shock. They'd been told that Alex Zanardi had both legs amputated and was in a critical condition after a champ car crash in Germany. 7 months on, Zanardi is fighting back. Mark Blundell's been to see him at his home in Monte Carlo.
Alex, horrifying accident last year. But I have to say, remarkable recovery, unbelievable. What's been the inspiration to that recovery for you?
Well, you name it. Obviously the desire to come back to a normal life, knowing that I still have one. It's very important. I think when you get so close to lose everything and you really feel it, the day that you wake up, you really feel you just cheated death by this much. Then everything that comes is really, you welcome everything with a different attitude, and so just knowing that I still have a life to live, I still have a great family to enjoy, great friends to enjoy, it's, I guess, enough to really drive you to go on and try to carry on.
You've been at a special clinic just outside of Bologna, yeah. So what's been your rehab? What have you actually had to do from the start?
Well, as soon as you have the first equipment, you can start to take the first steps, and it's really hard at the beginning. Once, because you don't know exactly how to move your limbs and to operate these legs, and second, because normally they hurt so badly. And then you make the first progress, and then the day that you are able to give the right feedback to the technician to build you better legs, to build you better molds that fits better, then on that day you make a huge step forward, and everything, it's, I'm not saying downhill, but at least it's not uphill anymore. These are not my feet, but I can feel them. I know where they are, right? And that's very, very important.
I've been in some very big accidents, and I've been very lucky because I've got away with a lot of things. But did you ever think it was going to happen to you?
No. Definitely not, and I still believe to this day that that was just a fatality. It's not because motor racing is dangerous, you know. It's life. Unfortunately, it doesn't take much, you know, to meet destiny at that particular time, and it happens, and you can't go back. Funny enough, I don't remember a single lap of the race itself, therefore I don't remember even the time of the accident. I just know that I woke up and my legs were not longer there. And I didn't know that. My wife told me with all the sweetness of, that she could find in the situation. And as I said earlier on, that was not my biggest problem at the time, because I felt so bad. And if I could go back in time like if you'd ask me, Alex, would you trade your 3 years that you had in the States with all the satisfactions you had for your legs? Well, I could trade all the money I have in the bank, that for sure, which at the time I felt it was very important, right? I would trade all the money for my legs, but I may not trade the 3 years I had in the States for my legs. So this, I think, tells you how much I care about what I was doing.
Well, I heard a rumour that you drove back from the clinic to your home in Monte Carlo after the accident, after you've been there for some period of time. I mean, is it true, or is this just a rumour?
I can see it as a flash, you know, me driving on the motorway, talking to my wife and looking in the mirror, my son in the back that was sleeping. I felt the boss of the family again, you know, and I didn't feel like a handicapped guy, like the way I felt when I was on the wheelchair. With all the respect for the people that are on the wheelchair, but to me at that point I felt like, you know, I was totally normal, and it didn't mean anything, the fact that I didn't have legs at the time. I mean, I was taking the family home, so it was a special moment for me.
Last December, there was a big celebration back in Italy. The first time you stood up in front of a crowd. What was that like? Only, what, 3 months after your accident?
Yeah. Well, it was a special moment because everybody was shocked, because I didn't know that. And normally, you know, when you spend a lot of time on a wheelchair, it's very difficult for people to stretch and to stand up. I think a very special moment, also for me, because it was very, very unexpected, you know.
Alex, you're a true champion and an inspiration to many, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mark.
Mark, he's a pal of yours and he was a former rival of yours, but it's fantastic to see him fighting back like that.
It really is. It's tough for me actually to even talk to him at that point, because only a few years ago I was 200 miles an hour wheel to wheel with a guy, fierce competitors, and then to actually sit next to him only a few inches away and the guy's lost his legs, it draws too many parallels to me as a driver and as a human being. And I actually told him the other day sitting there that the biggest reason that I never returned to oval racing for this year was because of him, because of his accident, and it's something that I still don't sit very comfortable with.
It's great to see him though, especially saying he wouldn't have swapped his racing career to have his legs back. It's an astonishing thing to say.
He's so passionate, he's such a strong guy, you know, and I believe every word he says on that. You know, that is from the bottom of his heart, but he is a true role model to anybody in that situation.
Is it fair to say that seeing him there was one of the reasons why you decided to pack it in?
I haven't packed it in yet, and that's probably what I'm saying at this point is that I may return, but the biggest issue with me is that I've not returned yet purely because of Alex's accident, and that's something that is in the back of my mind. If I don't get it out of the back of my mind, I will quit completely, but it's still there.